Alright, first up is Flowers in the Attic, a story by V.C. Andrews, and it's creepy from its arsenic cookies, evil relatives, and incest. Messed up! Second up is Lady in White, which is a pretty creepy ghost story with, Lucas Haas locked up in a closet, and hey, it has Mona from Who's the Boss? Well, it's a fun little creepy ghost story that stuck with me. Next up is Critters. Well, this one, all I caught was the happy ending, so I made my parents rent it for me, and when we finally sat down to watch the entire thing, as soon as I saw a critter attack a cop or somebody, I instantly freaked out. Yikes! So we ended up not watching the whole entire thing. Alright, next up is the peanut butter solution. Now, this one is one funky little movie. So, it's about this kid named Michael, and he ends up losing all his hair in the beginning from being so scared. And then he's told to use this peanut butter solution on his head to grow his hair back. Well, in the process, he goes a little overboard, and he ends up growing way too much hair, and these bad people want it. So it's basically the story about never-ending growing hair. And I swear, this is one of the most discussed movies from the 80s that people remember from their childhood, but they never remember the title. Definitely a classic from the 80s. Here's one that probably looks really familiar to most people. I grew up with the Gremlins when I was a really little kid, and I love Gizmo and everything, but obviously there are some scary gremlins in this one. For example, Microwave Gremlin. He creeped me out. And I think I was the most terrified of Blender Gremlin. I mean, ew, watching it being, shredded and goo going all over the place, that's pretty terrifying to a little kid. So even though I love Gizmo, the Gremlins definitely has some creepy ass little moments in there. My next pick is actually Poltergeist 2. Now I grew up with both Poltergeist movies, but Poltergeist 2 has the most creepy moment where the dad drinks a tequila worm and then proceeds to barf it up, and then it turns into the creepy old man. Ew, I hate that part. So freaky. No, thank you. Next up, it's the sequel to Alien, which is called Aliens. And this one, I remember scared me because, it has a little girl in it, and so at the time I could relate to this little girl. And the freakiest moment was when there was a little alien, geez, I'm sorry, I forget the actual names of these things. It was running around on the ship, and, the way it just, skitters around was freaking me out. So Aliens is definitely on the list for creepy little moments that involved a little girl. Okay, now everybody can relate to me on this one. It doesn't matter what age you are, but Child's Play seems to be everybody's, my first horror movie. And the creepy little good guy that goes around killing people, with his whole voodoo past and everything. This movie is definitely an 80s icon. And I was never scared of Chucky, but holy crunch, I loved him. This was one of the very first movies I caught on HBO when I was a little kid by myself. It's also the very first horror movie I ever owned on VHS. And I love the heck out of it. I love Chucky. It's all about the Child's Play movies. Oh, I love them. As for another movie that was special to me but never really scared me was Creepshow 2. I bought this on VHS when I was shopping at Safeway, which is a grocery store, and I saw it in this cardboard display, and right at the checkout, I see it, it's $5. I love the cover with the Crypt Keeper on it, pointing down at the audience in the movie theater. I was like, I gotta have this. And you know what? Creepshow is way better, but Creepshow 2 definitely has a lot of fun moments with, its three stories, and the raft being Probably the grossest moment where the guy kicks himself in the face with his foot. Yes, people, that was the part that actually creeped me out the most out of the whole movie. Well, there you go. 9 movies that had creepy moments or special, nostalgia attached to them from when I was a little kid. Take care, everybody.